first video. I don't know what to talk. So I'm going to be talking about Carl Jung's Modern Man in Search of Soul, which is a brilliant book. Why did I read it? Number one, the title. The soul, terms like soul and modern man. Two, the author, Carl Jung. I had heard about him, and yeah, why not? And three, it's a psychology book, and recently I'm becoming quite enticed with topics like spirituality and soul, religion, and thanks to two for that. And yeah, also three, 46 and 2 by 2 song, brilliant song. Four, I just wanted to read something that made me hopeful, if that makes any sense, because it's quite a pessimistic time, and something hopeful, and something that explains something in my head, something like that. So why you should read it, I don't know. Don't read it. It's a good book. It's a collection of essays which were given as lectures, it seems, and yeah, he the topics are very difficult. No, I'll not say very difficult, but difficult to. It takes effort to read, but the words and the sentences, the way he writes, it's not difficult. Only the things he's talking about is difficult, and that is what I like. What I quite like about his writing is that it's quite simplistic given the nature of the topic. So, for example, there are some books where the writer seems just a bit too pretentious, like he's talking about maybe simple stuff, but he writes it in such a grandeur, if that's a word. I think it's a French word, when I don't like that. So it's like you're talking to him, or he's teaching you in the simplest possible way, and that is very good. So there are chapters that deal with dream interpretations. So if you see a snake in your dream, then maybe there's danger, something like that. But also another thing that I like about Jung is that he's not sure. It's not like this is it, this is certain, this is why this happens, this is how it should be done. It's completely, he's just one by one asking questions after questions after questions, and really meaningful questions. Questions that will stay in your head for a long time, and it just toils there and just grasps. It's like being in a dark room and questioning everything around you in order to find something missing. So for example, this might be a really bad metaphor, but just trust me. So for example, you lost your glasses, alright, spectacles. So you're in a dark room and you don't know where the spectacles is. So the first step is to recognize that you need to ask really good questions. For example, if you're grasping this, you need to ask yourself, is this a spectacle? Where did I leave it before? when the last time I lost it, where did I find it? So something like that. It's like you're trying to go for something. We don't know, like the problem, the hard problem of consciousness, right? That's the hard problem. And I think Carl Jung also writes about consciousness a lot. And he's just prying somewhere in a dark room, just trying to grasp something by asking really good questions. And that is so good, and I don't find that in a lot of books, especially non-fiction psychological books. It's just this is this is this, and that is just boring, and just leaves no room for further exploration. While Jung, it's like, oh, okay, and then what? Where do you go from here? Where are we heading? And that is just brilliant. And now I'm praising the author more than its content, because a book tells a lot about its writer, and a writer is consciousness, and writing is consciousness manifesting itself. So I don't think it's out of the topic to talk about the writer and how he approaches the topic. Yeah, so I wrote a lot of stuff. These are some notes, something. But like I'm not too sure I want to talk about the content. I'm not too sure, because the contents you see, you learn, right? I'm much more interested in consciousness itself. And yeah, so maybe dreams will help you. And why is somebody neurotic? Is it because of the conscious? Is it because of the unconscious? Yeah, it's brilliant. So I don't know what I rambled about. I really don't. I didn't even talk about the book. Let me see if there's some line that will maybe compel you to read this, persuade you. That's the right word. Yeah. So this is one of the things that I took away, and this is just blow. What do you call it? Just expanded my limited horizon of what I thought was possible in thinking about consciousness. Yeah, so this is it. It's a quote. It is the growth of consciousness which we must thank for the existence of problems. They are the dubious gift of civilization. It is just man's turning away from instinct, his opposing himself to instinct, that creates consciousness. And yeah, like about this stuff, but it's quite nice to read about it, if you understand that. So if you're looking to just go on a marathon, just flex your conscious muscle, brain muscle, and just do a lot of thinking, and just think about if you're in any way enamored by the topic of consciousness, and also neuroticism, depression, anxiety, anything that is related to mind or even the body, life itself, alright? Maybe there are things that might help you in this, and maybe there are things that you will go and okay, wow, I mean, didn't think about that before. So is there anything else I need to talk about? I don't know. Yeah, he criticizes Freud, which I haven't read, and I don't know much about Freud, but he just says it's not all limited to psychosexual. Everything is not sexual. So yeah, Jung criticizes Freud, and it's quite fun to see that. It's quite fun. Like wrestling is fun. Sports is fun because there's a sort of competition and just going at each other, which they're not deliberately trying to just fight each other or something, but it is a spark of competition or trying to prove something, but maybe this is not this, and it's quite beautiful, I would say. Tug of war, a little bit of war, intellectual war, which I quite like. Yeah, read it. This is just shit video, isn't it? So, bye. Read Modern Man in Search of a Soul. It's just beautiful, brilliant, and I'll see you when I press this video button again. So bye.